Get us going here.
So where will it show up on their Facebook page?
It'll be right there on the Fripp and Folly Facebook page.
On the top, or
just scroll on down. It'll be the first feed. Okay, everybody. We are back. It's Monday, April the 30th. Welcome to another edition of the Fripp Outdoors Facebook Live podcast. Brought to you by Fripp Outdoors, the makers of some of the baddest, coolest, sweetest, neatest T-shirts for the outdoor industry that you'll ever see. They're anything from crappie fishing to catfishing to bass fishing to bird dogs to duck hunting to goose hunting to redfish, speckled trout, you name it. Whatever your passion is in the outdoors, I guarantee you that Fripp has a T-shirt to fit you. Tonight's guest, we are honored, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm talking about this is a treat for everyone. We are with the undisputed, I don't want to say heavyweight because you're not anymore. You're more of a lightweight now. Champion of the bass fishing crappie world down on Table Rock Lake and assorted other lakes up in the north country of Wisconsin in the fall, Captain Rick LaPoint. Welcome to the craziness that is the Facebook Live podcast, my friend. Welcome.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be on with the master of television. So.
Yeah, I hear you, the master. Yeah. Well, Rick, you spend most of your time down on Table Rock Lake in southwest Missouri in the Ozarks, and I guess right now it's just on fire, isn't it? Everywhere down there?
Yeah, it's actually just starting. I mean, the fish are just spawning, which is about at least 3 weeks too late. You know, they usually start spawning in the middle of April, and here it is. You know, tomorrow's the 1st of May, and the fish are moving down the beds big time right now. You'll have really good days, and then you might have a little tougher day, but you can move around the lake and you'll catch fish every day. I mean, it's been pretty good. Smallmouth is just taking off on that lake. It's just
what about the crappie right now? What about the crappie?
No, the crappie, I haven't been crappie fishing for a couple weeks, and they were biting really good up till that time. I caught a few yesterday and caught them bass fishing, and they were just big ones, all 15 inches, just monster crappie.
You know, talking about the fish and everything right now, you're talking about the bass. I mean, is it just the spawn bite right now? I mean, is that it? I mean, you just got to pound the banks, or is there other methods out there that people could catch them?
You know, on Table Rock, we have it's such a big lake and expanse that you're going to have a pre-spawn, you're going to have spawn, you're going to have post-spawn fish all over the lake. So you can go out and you can, oh man, I'm allergic to cats. No, I'm kidding you. You can go out and you can catch fish in all 3 different phases all the time. You know, so you don't have to worry about it. You might have to move, down the lake a ways, but you're going to be able to catch fish. And, with the 3 species, the smallmouth, spotted bass, and largemouth, they spawn at little different intervals, so you got something you can catch.
Of course, depending on the where you live, in the south, of course, those fish have probably spawned 3 or 4 weeks ago, even maybe. Up here in the Midwest, like you say, our weather's been kind of crazy and cold, and what you said, normally a couple 3 weeks ago was when the fish should be spawning. So what would be a good tip to give people right now, like you were saying, on the 3 different species of bass and pre, post, and spawning fish, or whatever, other than just, we'll get into pounding the banks here in a little bit, but what do you think would be a good method for catching and locating a few bass right now?
Well, probably my favorite method is fishing a tube. I fish a tube probably this time of year 60-70% of the time. It's an effective way. We fish it on all types of structure. But you look for the pea gravel and, and just throw that tube up there because that's where they're coming.
I was seeing if I had some tubes.
Well, I got some. I just happen to have some right here.
Okay, all right. Because I
happen to have some right here. We got.
I just don't have enough crap behind me, and for whatever reason, I can't find one.
I got the blueberry crisp. Which is
okay. All right.
Color.
Now, isn't that old school what we call Gets-Its?
Yeah. And then I got a Kraken cookie.
Well, you're going to have to explain that one.
Well, it's just colors we've designed and named.
Okay.
I mean, that's the Kraken cookie right there.
That's a good-looking color.
Yeah, it's
got lots of salt on it.
Yep, we caught an 8-pound smallmouth on it 2 years ago. So.
Jeez. Okay, now what contours are you looking for and water and whatnot?
What you're doing is right now you're looking for either points or points leading in the spawning. So your spawning pockets or spawning coves or spawning creeks, either one, are going to have usually some pea gravel mixed in with the rock, or there'll be solid pea gravel. If you're wanting to key on the smallmouth, it's the real small pea gravel banks. That's what you need to look at. And you actually, if you can find something that's got a little deeper water on it, that's going to be key right now, because those fish will be in all different stages. If you find the flats that are shallow, they're not quite ready yet, but any day. I mean, any day. It's supposed to stay pretty warm tonight, and they may be up on it tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, Table Rock is of course if any of you guys out there, our lakes out here with Beaver, Table Rock, Bull Shoals, and all, I mean, they're clear, deep lakes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a difference in there, Rick. I mean, you fish these lakes here, and let's just say you go to Gunnersville or somewhere where there's more stain and color or whatever. That's a whole new ball game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't fish the banks like you do in those other lakes. Now, this is the only time of year that you would throw right next to the bank, but many people are going to do that, and they're going to catch the catchable fish that are on the bank, and instead of backing off a little bit and catching those fish that are spawning out a little deeper.
Yeah.
Because our fish, I've seen fish spawn in 30 feet of water in this lake.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had some years where the water was so clear that you could see, Kentucky's on spawning beds 30 feet deep.
Unbelievable. And I guess that's just this clear water, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. This year the water's not so clear. It is down, between between the dam and probably Kimberlin City. The water's a lot clearer. You can see about 8-9 feet deep, and in previous years when you could see that deep, I've seen spawning beds that deep. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What's the traffic like on there? Is there a lot of people on the water right now? And
yeah, there's a big tournament tomorrow, actually, the Tuesday. It's the annual Cops for Kids tournament. It raises money for the kids for various different programs, for the kids. And it's a good operation to fish. And myself and my friend Rick LaPoint, we're going to fish it tomorrow together. The only tournament I'm fishing the whole year, but it's a fun thing. You got a chance to win 2 boats,
Wow.
Got a draw boat and a boat for first place. So, heck, we're going to have a good time. If we do good, we do good. If we don't, the next day's a paycheck for me. So,
yeah, I hear that. Any tips you could give anybody real quick on, I know we've got crappie fishermen that tune in right now. What's a good go-to method for maybe some crappie right now, other than the right up on the banks?
Well, right now I don't even think they're on the bank, because the crappie we caught on Sunday were actually still in the pole timber close, but they were ready. So, you look for the brush a little bit away from the bank, maybe the brush piles that are in about 8 to 10 feet of water. You don't find them in there. They could be in the deeper brush still, but the crappie do the same thing. The crappie spawn different times. It's been, according to our weather, it's been the second coldest April on record.
Yeah.
So our temperatures are barely squeaking into the 60s right now. I'm sure up in the rivers, which I haven't been, it's probably in the mid-60s. So those crappie are probably on the bank or close to it. But they only stay on the bank for a few days, and then they're back out to the brush again.
I was on Grand Lake last Thursday, and water temperature was anywhere from 58, now that's in Oklahoma, northeast Oklahoma. Water temperature is anywhere from 58 to 62 degrees, and we were locating and catching crappie in 25 feet.
Oh, yeah. Those
25 feet.
Those fish weren't ready.
We were using our electronics. We were easing over, using the down, and locating any timber or brush or whatever in there, and we were catching those fish. We dropped down there, just single pole, just drop it down and catching them.
My opinion, if you don't have I use a hummingbird, for instance. If you don't have side imager or down imaging, and you're a crappie fisherman, you're missing out. It's so easy to locate schools of those fish on brush piles, boat docks, wherever you're going with that equipment, and it just makes it a lot easier. So especially for crappie.
Yeah, well, these crappie were, man. They were down in 25 feet of water. We located some sunken timber, some, just like an old couple of tree roots and whatever else down there. And we thought, are those crappie down there? You think those might be white bass or what? And we dropped down, just kept our little tubes and jigs or whatever, just still as we could get them, and next thing you know, thump, and we pull them up. Thought, well, I'll be dang, they're that deep. And so with that, we just started kind of cruising and looking in similar water where we could find brush, and it was just like a summer pattern that we were catching these crappie.
Right. It's just the way it's been for a while. Hey, I want to say hi to my sister. She's watching me right now. So,
well, just go right ahead. You can say, "Hey, sis." Yeah,
but
guarantee it.
It's just you just got to play it. When they're in that deep brush, and it happens in a day. You'll catch them in the deep brush, and then all of a sudden, they move shallow. And if you're crappie fishing every day, it's nice. I see a message on there, the Stockton crappie spawn is on, but hey, I said, you get out there, man, and this could be the best time crappie fishing.
Yeah. And I'd heard something just last week that the crappie bite on Stockton was actually pretty slow.
Well, this guy's catching them, Ryan Letterman, I tell you.
Hey, come on. That's Ryan Letterman.
He's your number one fan.
Ryan. Yeah, he is. He's a mess now. There's no question about that.
Oh, my God.
He tunes in. I think he starts, he's on the computer or on his iPhone probably about an hour before the show starts. And he's itching to get with it, because a lot of these guys, they like talking crappie fishing.
Oh,
yeah. I've always said that, they say bass is the number one sport fish, which in the money it is. But, if you just say that the bass are just hitting anything right now, you can catch them on a bare hook, you might see 4 or 5 trailers down there. But if you say that the crappie at any given time could start biting, you can't find a parking spot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Those guys are out there.
Pounded.
We got actually watching us now, the world famous Truman Lake crappie guy, Jeff Falkenberry. I mean, he's watching us right now. I mean, you know,
he's watching right now to see if you'll give up some tips for his lake.
Well,
I know.
Our lake can be kind of tough, so you just got to do what you got to do, and, go look for the fish. It's mainly in the river arms, in the James River. You get them sometimes in the creek, like Ants Creek. You'll catch them in the Kings River, and you're catching them up the White, too. But it's just little areas, and the lake fish is small for crappie, but, boy, they're big. We had that trip I had yesterday. I took my son out for the first time this year, and we had 5 that were all 15 inches, I mean, them are slabs anywhere you go.
15-inch crappie, Jeff texted me the other day just rubbing it in for Truman. He said, it's as easy as it gets. That's all he said. He didn't say what. He didn't say nothing. It's as easy as it gets right now.
Well, that's a lake that's got 1 million crappie in it,
Oh,
man. Come to my lake, Jeff, and you come here and fish for 1/10 of the crappie you have, and then you'll find out how hard it is.
Yeah, there's no question about that. You said that you were going to be teaming up with Rick LaPoint. I saw Rick not long ago at one of the boat shows this winter, and I knew I recognized him, but I just couldn't think of who it was. He no hair. He's just had the bald head, and he. And after a bit, he kept talking, and I thought, man, it's coming to me, and he finally just spilled the beans.
Yeah.
And after he said his name, I mean, everything, in our old brains, that file opened up, the Rick LaPoint file, and then it was all good. But he said he'd had some health problems, and he's back in doing some guiding, and he doesn't do any tournament fishing anymore, and so it was good to talk to him and good to know that he's back and he's out there fishing and everything. It's good that you and him have got an alliance over there and doing some cool stuff on the lake.
We work together pretty good every day. We call each other, what's going on, and it helps both of us. We can make adjustments quicker that way. And the client benefits. We're out there 7 days a week, every single day. And to have that help, that's big. It's a big time, and I got a guy I can trust and I can believe what he says. So I mean, it's a great thing. And also, he comes to Wisconsin with me too. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. Now, just tell people just any day at random. It don't matter if you're crappie fishing or bass fishing or whatever, but just the day in the life of Rick LaPoint. What time you got to get up? What all you got to do? You got to get ready. It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it?
Heck yeah! I mean, I'm up at right now. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. I get up, and my dog Rosie, my little black lab, she's always got to get up with Daddy, So I got to get up and feed her and let her out and everything, and and then she wishes she could come, but if I took her, then I'd never be able to leave her home.
Yeah,
but it's and then I leave for the lake, and I live an hour away from the lake, so I drive to the lake and get there, waiting for my customers. Usually a half an hour beforehand. I'm always early, and
got to get the boat in by yourself.
Yep, get it in and pick them up, and then we. Get out there, and then if I only have a 6-hour or 8-hour trip, that's good. But like today, I didn't get done till about an hour ago. I was off the water at 5. I had a 6 and a 4 hours, so got off the water at 5, drove back here 6 o'clock, put on my makeup, and here I am.
Now what's your limit as far as the number of people that you take?
I can take a 4 real comfortably and fishing that big Ranger 620 FS. And 5, usually no problem. And when we're drop shotting, we can I can take 6 because then, I mean, that's what I'm maximum licensed for as a Coast Guard guide. And, drop shot and all we're doing is fishing straight down. So it's okay. I mean, I'll do what I can do. And obviously a little more money made on the higher end numbers of people, and that helps. But, business is good. Business is really good. I'm as busy as I want to be. Everybody calls me, get those telemarketing calls, say, hey, you need to advertise, grow your business. I said, why? I don't need to advertise, the Lord's been good to me. He blesses me with all this business, and, with a Ranger provides me with a beautiful boat, and Yamaha with a beautiful motors, and Humminbird Minn Kota, they treat me right, and and all my sponsors, Smooth Move seats.
What about those Smooth Move seats? You've been telling me about them. Tell a little bit about them Smooth Move.
Well, what they are is they have 2 different types of Smooth Moves, and they're made specifically for the bigger deep V big water boats. They fit in that 620, no problem. They have a spring-loaded seat, and this year they got an air ride seat. They both ride about the same, and the air ride seat you can adjust quicker. You plug it into your cigarette lighter, and it pumps air in like a trucker's seat. The one thing I will tell you is I couldn't be guiding in the middle of the summer without them.
All the boat traffic.
The boat traffic gets heavy, the water gets rough, but that seat just nice and cushy, and you're going down the lake, and it's just so much easier on my back. It
seems like I've seen some commercials or whatever on them, and it's like an old accordion or something, is it not?
Yes.
How does it fit in the boat?
It actually screws right on the pedestal. They have a pedestal that they provide with it, and you replace your pedestal. It's got to be in the floor,
right?
A round pedestal that mounts on your floor. So you pull yours out and you put theirs in, and sit theirs on, and then you sit your own seat on their slide, and you bolt that on. It's a total maybe 30 minutes. Once you do one of them, it's 30 minutes to have to put one of those in. So it's a piece of cake. They're easy to install. If you ever want to look at that for your boat, I'd highly recommend it. smoothmovesseats.com.
And so when you're hitting those waves or whatever, that thing's just keeping you smooth and steady right there.
Yeah. I mean, if you hit a big one, it might jump you up a little bit, but
yeah.
I see Mark McKitchen on there made a little comment. He's been in my boat before, and he has ridden in those seats. He said they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Falconberry I saw where he said that lake Table Rock's way too clean. It needs a lot of train cars to come in there and dump mud in it. Them dirty water boys now, they get over here in that clear lake of yours, they'll panic sure enough.
Oh, I love them to have a crappie tournament on Table Rock. I might have to get in that one.
Yeah. Well, now there's something else that you're affiliated with, of course, and that's your rod company. So,
yeah.
Tell a little bit about your rods.
Well, I own a company. It's called Razor Rods. The Razor rods are made in the U.S. It's a lifetime warranty rod. We have about 52 different models. They're extremely sensitive. I mean, we got mainly crappie, bass, walleye. I took them red fishing this year, but not any fly fishing, not any of that specialty stuff, but just for the regular serious fishermen. They retail for right around $189 to $200. And if, my people that buy them say it's the most sensitive rod they'd ever have in their hand. It's just unbelievable.
Now, what all kinds of, bass rods, crappie rods, lightweight, heavyweight?
Oh, yeah.
Rods?
Anywhere from my smallest rod is a 5-foot ultralight to my biggest rod would, I have some catfish rods that are 8 foot extra heavies, so, but the normal bass rods, the 7.6 medium heavy or 7.6 heavy is our heaviest rods. And so we got models in every length that kind of expand in there and pretty much what you would need.
Now, how do they go about finding those rods?
Well, the only place I sell them at the sports shows, and online, and out of my boat. When people fish with them, they buy them from me. So it's it's a small market. I don't want to get in it anymore. And the reason why is because I love to guide. If I started retailing my rods, I'd have to quit guiding and be in an office, and I don't want to do that. So
yeah, well, I get that, but now there's something we've been talking about Table Rock and where you fish on that lake, but now tell everybody in the fall you head north.
Yep, I'm originally from Wisconsin, and for 34 years I've been going up to northern Wisconsin on vacation. When I lived there, that's where I went. And the area we go to is right around the Turtle Flambeau flowage near Minocqua, north of Minocqua and that. And my wife and I would go up there every year. And we moved to Missouri. I think we missed a couple years, and then we got back to going up there because we missed it so much. So the smallmouth fishing up there is really starting to blow up. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the people there don't like fishing for them, or they don't like smallmouth. So we go up there.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, it is. And the mentality of the people is unbelievable too. So anyway, I was going up there every year, and of course with Facebook and everything, my customers would see fish like that.
Isn't that that's unbelievable?
And they would go, that's there, that one on the left there, that's an 8-pounder.
Unbelievable, boys. 8-pound smallie.
That's a 6-pounder in the right. But it's, we started catching them fish, and then my customers said, hey, we want to do that. We want to do that. So, I talked to the owner of the resort, and I said, hey, we got to do some package trips for smallmouth. And he goes to me, he says, so people are going to drive all the way up here for smallmouth? I said, oh, yeah. So I think it was 9 years ago I started guiding there. And I'd take a few extra weeks and expanded it a few extra weeks. Now I'm there from the 16th of August until the 12th of October.
Mercy.
And every single day I'm guiding up there. And we're already full. And Rick Isaac started coming up with me 4 years ago. And he's got one opening left, 28th, 29th, and 30th of September. And then he's full. And we won't have any more openings. So, I mean, if you want to jump in that trip.
I mean, you're booked that far in advance.
Yeah, we book out there almost a year out. We'll get the people that fish with me up there. They got the first chance to rebook, and most of them rebook. They love the trip so much they rebook.
Yeah. Well, that's some incredible fishing up there. And of course, any of us that follow you on your Facebook page, we sit there and just our mouths just water looking at them big smallies that you post over there in the fall.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable at how that is. And but now is that all you fish for up there? Is
well, that's what we can. There's some people that like the musky fish, and if they want a musky fish, we take them musky fishing. But mainly it's the big smallmouth, and that's what everybody goes up there for. So, there's my first big one right there.
Wow,
that was
that's a dandy.
865, 24 inches long, 18.5-inch girth. It was just a huge fish. Got released. All our fish are released. Our smallmouth trips are total catch and release.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason a fish, chokes on a bait and starts bleeding bad. But and we just have a blast up there. It's not like the typical Sturgeon Bay or Shawamagon Bay or whatever as far as the numbers, but we'll catch anywhere from on a low end 10 fish to 50 fish a day. So it's
not just one lake. It's not just one lake.
No, I got a lot of people ask me what lakes we fish, and basically what we tell them, if you want to find out, book us for the trips, because we got lakes that are pretty secretive that we don't share too much information. But I tell you what, there's some awesome lakes. It's taken me 34 years to find the lakes that we fish, and even the last year we found another lake, that's absolutely phenomenal, and the people up there don't fish for them.
Yeah.
So they look at that like, what are you doing? You're not walleye fishing or muskie fishing?
Yeah, I know. I found that out the first time I went to Minnesota. And of course, anytime I go to Minnesota and it's the land of 10,000 lakes, for whatever reason, I eventually end up on Mille Lacs. And it's just, let's see. Hang on. It's just rougher than a wood hauler's butt on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the way Sturgeon Bay is, too.
And so, regardless, I'm out there, and we're just trying to catch these dang walleye.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like this. And then we take a break, and we go in this pocket or in this cove, and it's just calm. And they go, hey, you could probably make a few casts in here if you want to. You probably catch you a smallmouth or something.
Oh, yeah.
Go out there, and you're catching these smallmouth that are size of footballs. They're almost as wide as they are long, and they're jumping 4 foot out of the water. Yep. And I'm like, why ain't we doing this?
Yep.
We're not out there beating ourselves to death out there trying to catch these walleye and these 3-foot swales. And, I mean, this is far more fun. They go, nah, we don't care nothing about them.
I know. I mean, they just soon just get rid of them, poison them out. That's the way they feel.
So up there where you're at in Wisconsin, is it mostly just out-of-staters that come up there? Or
yeah, we have nobody from Wisconsin that comes in our trip. We're kind of careful, actually, how we work our trips, because we don't want somebody going up there and beating our lakes to death, because most of our lakes are, 1,000 to 3,000 acres, so they're not very big. And if you go there and just pound on them lakes every day or in the spring on the spawn, I mean, you can hurt it, I got a guy that's watching us now, Corey Shue. He's been on our trips before.
Oh, there in Wisconsin?
Yep, he's been up to Wisconsin. And matter of fact, I think he caught the big one last year.
Cool. Well, let's see. Now, what's that? You've got a shirt on there. What is it that you're doing there?
It's Captain Rick's annual hunt for the Kraken. That's what we call. We classify our fish. Our 19 inchers are the monster smallmouth. A 20 incher is it's a stud monkey. 21 incher is a swamp donkey. 22 incher is King Kong, and a 22 incher is pretty rare.
Oh yeah.
So we're out there fishing with my customer the day that I caught that 8-pounder, and he says, well, what the heck are we going to call a 23-incher? I said, oh, heck, we ain't going to never catch a 23-incher, 22 inches, is almost a 6-pounder up there or better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I started thinking, I thought, what's the biggest mythical monster out there? And it's the Kraken. So, we call this whole trip Rick's annual hunt for the Kraken.
All right, well, that makes sense. Now, you remember when you were putting them on there and calling them swamp donkeys, I sent you the actual definition of what a swamp donkey is. And I don't think it quite fit the smallmouth, but nonetheless, I've heard them called that, before. So that's pretty fun. So anyway,
I got a question on here. Somebody asked me about crappie here, and I want to answer it right away for him.
Okay.
Michael Conrad asked me if I had one crappie bait for Table Rock, what would you choose? Well, there's a couple different crappie baits. Number one for me would be a Bobby Garland baby shad. And I always tip it with a crappie nibble. If anything else, I'd use the 2.8 Kitech. Works great for those giant crappie. You know, we caught big ones on both shoals this year, and those 5 big ones we caught on Table Rock Sunday were on that. So when they're eating good and you're just hunting for big ones, the bigger bait's better. But that little baby shad, Bobby Garland. So I hope that helps you out, Michael. And hi, Denise. Denise, she fishes me in Wisconsin too. So
there you go.
A lot of my people up there.
Oh yeah, well now see we're broadcasting this all over the world. See, so eventually there'll just be millions of people, you know, that'll just see you, Rick. So how does someone, you know, do they get you Facebook, Rick LaPoint? I know you used to have about 12 different websites, and also how do they get a hold of you to go fish with you?
Well, the easiest way, just call my cell phone, 417-861-3899, or go to my various websites. I have several websites, but I have strikebass.com, and then my smallmouth website is monstersmallmouth.com.
Or they can just contact you via Facebook.
Yeah, or via Facebook, Rick LaPoint on Facebook. Yeah. And Corey Shue was one of the guys on there. He caught the biggest smallmouth last year. He's the only one actually other than me that caught a Kraken. So he had a 7.4 last year, weighed on the MLF scales, so they're right on the money, and a 6.2 in the same day.
Wow.
So, you know, it's phenomenal. The fishing's great. My heart goes out to the guy because his dad was on that trip last year, and his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Just a few months ago. So, Corey, you know, hey, we're feeling for you. Maybe someday we can get back up there again and do a trip in honor of your dad.
Yeah. Well, what else, Rick? Is there any points or tips you can give? I mean, the spawn's going to be over, so you can give us a quick tip on what to look for, how to maybe catch a few bass after the spawn, and then after that, how to catch maybe a few crappie after the spawn.
Well, I don't do much crappie fishing after the spawn, mainly because they move around too much, and the bass are biting so good all summer that it's just really takes up too much time to try to find a crappie. So, you know, it's mainly I key on the bass after May 1st, and after they spawn, what they'll do is they kind of hang around the area a little bit, and you'll catch them in their spawning areas. And then you start move out to the points and fish the points. And as the time goes, you know, they'll move back in those pockets again and start feeding. And, you know, and then they'll move out to the points. So it's kind of a back and forth deal. So you just got to go with the fish, move with the fish, use your electronics. Humminbird electronics, Helix 12 and Helix 10 I got are just phenomenal. And they can locate the fish, the depths where the fish are at. And from now until probably June, you can throw a tube, you can throw a Kitech swim bait. We're already starting to get some fish in topwater right now. So, you know, is there a spook or a red fin is going to be good. So it's just, you just got to play it. And then after that, then the fish start moving into deeper trees, and then it's drop shot time. And in the rivers, you'll be able to catch them a little shallower, but mainly drop shot. And then we'll get out there on these longer points with the drop shot and a night crawler. And the spots just love night crawlers. So when we take families out in the summer, you know, we'll fish with live bait, you know, because we want, you know, all the people, all the kids to catch fish, catch an occasional walleye, and you know, catfish, and you know, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm all about people catching fish, and if they're having a good time, that's why I stay so busy. I also want to shout out one more shout out. Carl, he's watching me. Carl Steva King. He owns Holiday Hideaway Resort. One of the best places to stay on the lake. There's several other good ones, but he's got one of the best. It does have the #1 fish cleaning station on the lake. That's where I clean a lot of my crappie, but he's watching us right now. I just want to say hey, and he's...
Which lake is that?
Table Rock Lake.
Is that down in the Cape Fair area?
No, his resort is in Ants Creek. It's on 009.
Okay.
Holiday Hideaway Resort. And if you want to go fishing in the spring, you better book now.
Yeah.
Because
no kidding. All right. Well, we want to thank Captain Rick. We could talk for a while. We could do another show on some of the antics that we pulled when I first started doing my show, and Rick was my go-to guy. I'd just say, "Hey man, I need something," and he goes, "Come on," and so we would just go and we would shoot stuff, and it was a lot of fun. But let me tell you guys, just get on Facebook, find Captain Rick LaPoint. It'll probably be under Rick LaPoint, not under Captain Rick LaPoint. Get a hold of him, get down there at Table Rock, go fishing with him, and you'll just have a ball. There's no better fisherman that I know of that is better than Captain Rick. He can find fish when nobody else can, and he's one of those old boys that you just have such a good time with him that you don't even really know if the fish are biting or not. He's just entertaining.
Sometimes that's a good thing.
Well, that is. I know, and I've enjoyed my friendship with you, Rick, over the years. You know how much I think about you, and what a great guy. He's a good ambassador to the sport, and we're just tickled to death that we had you on here, and thank you for answering questions and all, and I'm sure I'll see you out there at some point somewhere on the lake. Rick's the guy. I go, hey, I got to test a boat. Is there any fish biting somewhere while I'm just there? And he gives me this, and he'll give me a little area or whatever. Won't tell me exactly, even though I go, hey, I'm going to throw them back. And he'll still just give me a nugget.
No, you give too many nuggets, and then you got to...
That's right. That's right. You got an empty basket. I know. But anyway, hey, guys, check out Fripp Outdoors, frippandfolly.com for all the latest, greatest, coolest, sweetest T-shirts that you can get out there. They're the people that bring these live podcasts.
Someday.
What's that?
They might have this shirt someday.
They may have Hunt for the Kraken. I mean, let me tell you,